It's just so special for such our club, mate, our club.
Lastly, after 57 years of pain, it's coming home.
Hey there, TJ here, and welcome to Yeahthedees, where I am going over our round 16 clash against the Adelaide Crows on Saturday the 2nd of July 2022 at Adelaide Oval. Good win by the boys. It's good to have two on the trot, keeping us on top of the ladder and a game clear, which is absolutely lovely. The big news during this week was Clayton Oliver signing on till 2030, which I just think is absolutely fantastic for the club. It's great to know that the two best players in the league are signed up with us until they are 32, 33. Great stuff from the club. I think that gives us plenty of room to maneuver, maybe back in their contracts into when they are veterans and do things like that. So also great for teammates to know as well. So I think it might be a bit of an incentive for Luke Jackson. He will at least know that for the next 7 years of his career, he could possibly be tapping it down to Petrarca and Oliver. So could be an incentive. Also saw the news today, Disco Turner signed on for 2 more years. So obviously the club rates him quite highly. So let's get into the teams for this game. The big change for this game was no Luke Jackson. So basically no ruckman at all. We brought in Mitch Brown as the replacement and played Sam Wiedemann and Mitch Brown through the ruck. We kept the smaller forward line as well, and our back line looked pretty damn good. Christian Petrarca made the move forward as well. He's played more game time forward in this game than he had in any other this season. I think it was a good move. He was highly involved in a lot of our score involvements and got on the board pretty quickly in the first quarter. So let's get into this game and let's get into the first quarter. Game starts with a lot of pressured handballs from both sides. The pressure level for this game was very hot, very hot. It was over 200 from both sides, which, we're experiencing in a lot of games, because if you want to be at the level with the Dees, you've got to be putting on the pressure. So a lot of pressured handballs and turnovers until Harms gets a kind of rushed inside 50. There was pressure on that kick. It went to the top of the square, came out the back, and Ben Brown gets the first goal of the game. It was just a nice one out the back. Not too long after that, Christian Petrarca gets one that's kind of similar. It goes in 50, comes off hands out the back of the pack, and Petrarca was able to snap one. So a couple of easy goals to start the match was nice. Bit more play happens, and we seem to be kicking it very short to players, which is nice to see, especially inside 50. This kick to Mitch Brown was exactly what we were wanting to see. So the lowering of the eyes have happened. We've now kicked the first 3 goals, which was fantastic. Unfortunately, though, Adelaide kicked the next 4. That was a little bit surprising. Momentum just kind of swung fully their way. There was a couple of free kicks missed our way, both down forward and down back to Ben Brown and Stephen May during this thing, but that's just, and I hate ripping on umpires because I used to be a junior umpire, but it was bloody awful, this game. It was one of the worst I think I've seen. After quarter time, I'm pretty sure we only got 3 free kicks, which is just absolutely obscene. But yeah, especially when you're first to the ball all the time. After the Darcy Fogarty kicked a goal, he actually dislocated his finger. It was bent that way. That finger looked like that, which was quite disgusting. Just got caught in Lever's jumper during a marking contest. Setting up for this James Harms goal was pretty nice. Petrarca was able to shove off an opponent the ball and hit up Harms to get this one, so it evens the game at 4 goals. Langdon had a real nice run this game. He was back to his best. I think he had 33 possessions and running up and down the wing. I don't know why teams don't tag him after seeing 2 teams do it successfully. Christian Petrarca gets his second goal right before the end of the quarter, so he was just running into a good position to get that opportunity. So we had a great first quarter. We kicked 5 goals, 31, and they kicked 4 straight, 24. We go into the second quarter up by 7 points. Felt like Brayshaw, Viney, Oliver, and Petrarca were all really huge in that quarter. Amazing handball game, like just getting it tight out. Basically playing phone box footy. It was just no room, and Oliver had a field day with these handballs. It was fantastic. So this quarter wrestled for a long time. There was just a few behinds here and there. The Crows kicked the first 2 of this game before Christian Petrarca can kick his third, which was an absolute belter from 45. So at this stage, we've kicked 6 goals and he has 3 of them. I felt like we really controlled this quarter. I felt like we had made it a Melbourne-style game. We were playing our brand and really restricting the opposition. But yeah, just couldn't really get the scores on the board, which was quite frustrating. This Tilthorpe goal came from Tex sucking the umpire in and getting a free. Then he tried to run around Stephen May and got tackled. And I'm just like, what are you doing, mate? Like, and God, this bloke shits me, you know, like that. Yeah. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about Tex Walker because he's an absolute flog. So we kicked 1-2 to the Croms, 2-2-14 in that quarter. Half-time scores were 6-3, 39 to 6-2, 38. We go into half-time 1 point up, and I felt like that kind of flattered Adelaide a little bit. Like, yeah, they're playing good pressure, but after quarter time, they're just getting the absolute run of the green. Christian Petrarca and Clayton Oliver had incredible first halves. Christian Petrarca had 3 goals, a goal assist, 17 disposals, 10 of them contested possessions. Oliver had 22, 13 contested possessions, 8 tackles in a half, and just put on an absolute handballing masterclass. It was a bit of a quarter. We just got absolutely smashed in the ruck, but our mids were doing heaps trying to read, and you know they're playing differently. They're used to having a good ruckman, and as being a Melbourne fan, we've always had good ruckman. You know, us and West Coast really rate that as probably the highest clubs in the land. We're clubs that have always had great ruckmen, and this game was something different for the boys, and I thought they did quite well at that. Scoreboard probably flattered Adelaide a little bit because we couldn't get the scores on the board in that second quarter. But yeah, anyway, on to the third. It started off with quite a few behinds. There was a point where Jake Lever got a free kick for being dumped on his head, and I only feel like it's worth mentioning because we got 6 free kicks in the first quarter and 9 for the whole game. So that was our 1 free kick for this quarter, I guess. I really like that we didn't need the rub of the green to get the win in this game. Like, we truly were pushing the boulder uphill and just dealing with it and just getting it done. There was an option where Cozzy Pickett had the ball and had to pick between Petrarca and Bedford and pick to kick to Toby Bedford. He was more centre, he was in a better position, and that was definitely the right call. He kicks truly for our first of the quarter, 8 minutes in. Shortly after that, Mitch Brown takes a mark after some James Harms magic on the boundary. He was able to get the ball and shake the opponent off. He's getting really good at that, at shaking his hips at the right time. Petrarca does it well. Nathan Jones used to do it well. And I think Harmsy's just getting better and better this year. It's been very small increments. As he's just stringing these matches together and coming back from the bye, I think he's getting just better and better, and we're going to see a bit more midfield time from him, with Petrarca playing a little bit more forward to sort of hopefully make that connection between our forward line and midfielders just a little bit better. Our intercept marking in this game was just redonkulous. Lever, May, Brayshaw, Petty all had a field day. It was a great defensive game to watch from our boys in the back line. Cozzy gets this goal off the deck after some really nice body play from Bailey Fritsch. Like, he's not going to get a stat for that, but he saw where his opponent was. He was able to lay some body work on there, and if he didn't get to it first, Cozzy was able to just bang off the ground. So we got a few goals that this way from just making the most of opportunities. Also in this quarter, Cozzy Pickett whacks Butts in the guts. He got a 2K fine for it, and thankfully not a suspension. We are seeing patterns here from Cozzy. He does hit players late. He has swung his arm before. Once he's decided he's going to get a bloke, he just does it. He just commits and goes for it. He never pulls out. And I have a love-hate with that, honestly. I love his aggression. I love that he wants to play physical football, and I love physical football. But I just hate the chance of downfield free kicks and suspensions. Like, he can get fined as much as he wants, go for it. But I don't want to see him miss a game, because anything can happen when Cozzy's on the field, and that's just the way it is. So Jordan Dawson kicks their only goal for that quarter. And look, at that stage, we had taken 26 intercept marks to Adelaide's 13. We kicked 3 goals, 6, 24 points to Adelaide's 1 goal, 2, 8 points, which adds up to us being 9-9, 63, 274, 46. We go into the fourth quarter, 18 points up. So the Crom get a great start for this quarter with a centre clearance goal, taking them 17 seconds for Rory Laird to get on the board. The ball just went up and down the ground for a little while. Ben Keys was able to get this goal 8 minutes in from Angus Brayshaw, somehow dragging it in without touching it. I get that he kind of tapped it a little bit, and then but he just put his hands up and, like, he's not touching the ball. He's not in possession. I don't understand how you can ping a bloke when they're not in possession of the ball, nor dragged it in and holding it with their arms. But that was just the way the umpiring was going. It was an absolute farce. Terribly umpired. Glad it didn't cost us the game. But yeah, rough as hell. Ben Keys kicks their second for the quarter, and it's now a 5-point game with 12 minutes to go, which makes the next 12 minutes really exciting and really enjoyable because we go on to kick 5 of the next 6. We've got Ed Langdon's great bouncing snap from the pocket. Probably my favourite goal, I think, from the game because it was out of the centre, a little nice inside 50, but like just this bullocking, pushing forward Melbourne effort. A knock from Cozzy to Neil Bullen, who kicks it across, trying to get it to Spargo, which just happens to bounce in front of him. He almost lets Cozzy pinch it out of his hands, but he saw that Viney was on the inside to him and was able to get the handball to Jack Viney, who was in a way better position and able to kick a really easy goal. So 2 goals in a minute and a bit brings the margin back to what it was at third quarter time, and we've just deflated their tyres. Even though Josh Rochelle gets the next goal, Tom Sparrow was able to goal less than a minute after that. So just a typical Tom Sparrow bomb. He loves it. I'm telling you, this bloke is going to be an absolute jet. He's got all the qualities to be the next Jack Viney. He's tough. He makes good decisions. I know he's had moments with his handballs and his kicking where it doesn't quite come off, but the thing is that he's made the right decision to go for that player and the execution just wasn't there. You want players that are making good decisions because the execution of their handballs can be improved. Their IQ doesn't really improve from this point on. If they don't have it, they don't have it. Some players have got footy IQ and footy vision and other players just don't, and Tom Sparrow's got it. He's got great footy vision. Just his execution sometimes isn't there, but he had a fantastic game. He tackles, he chases, he looks for other players, he kicks short, and he can kick very long. He can kick absolute bombs from 40, 50 metres out, and it is, enjoy it, D fans. Him and James Jordan, they're the best of mates, the fridge and the freezer, and they're going to do good things for the Dees. Petrarca, kicked his only behind for the game, but Bailey Fritsch takes an absolute great mark and goals. This keeps his streak alive at the moment. He's got a consecutive game streak of 20 in a row, kicking at least 1 goal. So good on you, Bailey. And then just before the side, Ben Brown, kicks this goal. He just gets one. He kicked the first goal and the last goal of the game, and he got this one just after the siren. So not the best game from Ben Brown, but a better game from Ben Brown. He was leading. He was taking good marks. He was coming up the ground a bit more, getting a bit more involved. Thought he had a decent game. So in that quarter, we kicked 5-1-31 to Adelaide's 3-1-19. Final scores were 14-10-94 to 10-5-65. We win by 29 points, a genuine 5-goal win after it getting to 5 points halfway through the last quarter. So that's a quality finish from us being a quality side. Top of the ladder, game clear. Awesome job, Dees. Well done. So let's have a quick look at some stats. I've had a thought about how I do these videos, and I would love you to let me know in the comments. I was thinking about, instead of me going through quarter by quarter, or if you like that, let me know. Maybe I just do a 22 player rating, and I go through and give every player a rating out of 10 based on effort, impact, involvement, and expectation, like just based on what level they're at and what they expect. And so if you're interested in me doing a player ratings thing, sort of instead of maybe talking through each player's game rather than going through the whole game, I'm just trying new things for videos. So let me know your thoughts, because I find that I tend to go through this and then I kind of go through it again when I do the votes. So I don't know. Ed Langdon, 100% game time again. Stephen May, 98. Petty, 94, 91. That's just keeps the back line so solid when they can just stay on the ground, which is just insane. May, Langdon, Lever, Salem, Petrarca, Harms, all over 400 metres gained, which is great. Jack Viney, clearance beast game again. 7 clearances, 6 for Oliver, 5 for Petrarca. Absolutely got smashed in the ruck. But Wiedemann got 11. Mitch Brown got 2 hit-outs. They tried their guts out, and I liked the effort. I thought it was really good. Clayton Oliver with 13 tackles, phenomenal. James Jordan, Christian Petrarca, and Salem with 6. Big disposal getters, Clayton Oliver, Ed Langdon, Christian Petrarca, all hit their 30 marks. Jake Lever had 100% disposal efficiency. He hit every single one of his 13 kicks and 5 handballs. He had 14 intercepts, so he got the ball 14 times. Jake Bowie, Christian Salem, Michael Hibbard, Stephen May, Alex Neilborn, all solid games. And then quite a few players sort of just around the AFL average there. Pretty even game all round, really, with disposals, kicks, handballs, like not too much difference there. We only just won the inside 50s. Disposal efficiency was around the same. Our defence just, really stuffed things up for them. But look at that. That's obscene. 23-9 in free kicks. Along with the hitouts, 57-13. That's just giving your team such a huge advantage. And we still beat them by 5 goals. So, look, really, really happy with the effort from the midfield to be able to do that, and from our back line to be able to make up the difference with having no Gawn and no Jackson, but we also had no worries. So marks inside 50 improved. We got to 15. Our average for the year is 11. That's an extra mark a quarter inside 50. So usually if you're getting an extra mark a quarter inside 50, you're getting an extra shot on goal per quarter. So that was a good improvement. 14-10, not too bad. Could have kicked straighter, and if we do kick straighter, then that's when we get prelim style wins like what we did against Geelong last year. Tackle count was pretty good for a high pressure game. Tackles inside 50 even. Not a bad game. Let's get into the coaches' votes now, and Christian Petrarca got the perfect 10 from the coaches, followed by Clayton Oliver and Stephen May with 7 each. Jordan Dawson got the only Adelaide vote. He got 2 votes from one of the coaches. Jake Lever got 2, Ed Langdon got 1, and Angus Brayshaw also got 1. So that would have been split up like this. On to my votes now, and I decided to give 1 vote to Ed Langdon. I thought his running was immense along the wing, gave us plenty of options, got an important goal when we needed it too as well, which helped lift the team. 1 vote for him. Gave 2 votes to Jake Lever. 100% disposal efficiency. So he didn't miss a target, had 14 intercepts, 4 intercept marks. Phenomenal game from Jake Lever. His kicking was elite, and he was very much helped by his partner in crime, who I gave 3 votes to, which was Stephen May. Stephen May had 12 intercepts, 7 of them being intercept marks. 83 disposal efficiency with 18 disposals, 15 of them being kicks, and he hit most of them. Just an overall pretty good game from Stephen May. He had some rough moments with Tex Walker, but, when the umpires are going your way, that's just going your way. Gave 4 votes to Clayton Oliver. Clayton Oliver had a ridiculous game. 36 disposals, 26 handballs, 10 kicks, 13 tackles, 6 clearances. Had 260 metres gained and 2 goal assists. But I really felt that Brayshaw was one of the best players on the ground. He had 9 marks, 5 of them being intercept marks, and I felt like all of them were at really important moments. I felt like whenever we needed a turnover really badly, Angus Brayshaw was the one to mark it. He was the one to get him into that position. And before I really had a good look at Petrarca's game, I thought he was best on ground. So obviously I gave the best on ground and 6 votes to Christian Petrarca, who had one of the best rated games he's ever had in his career. Just phenomenal effort from him. He had 11 score involvements. 1 was a direct goal assist, and then he kicked 3 goals himself at 1 point. So he's very much involved in a lot of our scoring chains. I felt like that was really important for us. Quickly onto the VFL, and we done Port Adelaide by almost 10 goals. 58-point win, and they jumped us at the start. Like, they were up by 3 goals here at quarter time. We kicked the first goal, and then they got the next 4 goals of the game. So they had a really good start, and then we kept them goalless in the second quarter, kicked 4 goals ourselves, and then the rest of the game just opened up from there. Cade Chandler was best on ground, 29 touches, 5 goals, 1 behind. Oscar Baker had 24 touches, Luke Dunstan 23, Rivers 19. So they're the main players that are sort of looking at coming in. Jaden Hunt was pretty good, even though he only had the 15 disposals. We've got so many handy players just up our sleeve to come in. Miles Shepherd and Corey Ellison aren't on our list, but they're really handy players. You might know Miles Shepherd from the Shepmates, which do the commentary voiceover things, which is quite funny. Onto the ladder quickly, and we are on top by a game which makes this Thursday's match against Geelong quite exciting. Another top of the table clash. this time down at the Cattery, and we had one of the best wins I've ever seen the Dees. It's probably my besides the grand final, because that's a grand final. The round 23 win against the Cats is my favourite win ever, and then the prelims probably third. But I can't wait to play them again. I know they would have circled this one. They would have been like, the Dees got us 3 times last year. We got to get them this time. So we know we're going to get a fit and firing Geelong. They've rested Joel Selwood. Dangerfield hardly played the game last week. He played like 60%. They're all rested for us. And they really want to throw it at us this week. And I'm really excited to see what happens. You know, they're in great form. I think they've won at least 5 in a row. So they're looking good. Will playing North Melbourne the week before hindered them at all? I'm not sure. But as we go through the rest of the ladder, Brisbane got Essendon this week, so they should probably get the job done. Fremantle should probably get St Kilda done. They're a bunch of pretenders. Carlton will probably handle West Coast. I think it's a little blimp, you know, that St Kilda got up and got them done last week. Collingwood have had such a great run at the moment. They're playing some pretty decent footy. They'll get the job done easily against North. Richmond and Gold Coast should be a bit of fun. Sydney Bulldogs is in another 8-point game where if the Bulldogs want to play finals, they have to win this one, and pretty much every game for the rest of the year is going to be like that for them. I think Gold Coast, Port Adelaide and down, it's going to be really hard for any of them to play finals, and if they do, it's going to be probably hard to impact. Just being that couple of games behind now will make it really, really difficult. So, yeah, Gold Coast, you've got to win all your games to basically make it. Same with Port Adelaide. But I think Gold Coast have had a really good season this year. I think they've done really, really well. They're probably going to be a bit of a danger next year. Like, I think they'll definitely play finals if they stay fit, and they'll have a King brother up the front. So that'll be good for them. Isaac Rankin's getting his confidence and doing some good things. But, yeah, I think that eight's looking pretty set. Let me just scroll up so you can see it all. I think whilst this has been one of the most exciting years in terms of where people are going to land and how competitive it is, because most of these teams sort of 10, 11 up they're getting most of the wins. Down the bottom of the ladder, it's looking kind of sad. But anyway, doesn't really matter. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And this has been Yeahthedees.
And it's just so special for our club, mate, our club.
Lastly, after 57 years of pain, it's coming home.